For today, we are going to be talking about two specific concepts of instructional design. The first one that we are going to focus on is the value of active learning in instructional design and the constructivist lens in the learning environment. Active learning and constructivism are very similar to one another. They coexist with one another, have very similar definitions. So I thought that it was fitting that we talk about both of them cohesively. To begin, we're going to talk about the definition of active learning. According to Stapleton and Stefaniak 2018 on page 2, learners must have the opportunity to explore. So an example of this exploration process would be things like sharing prior experiences that the student had in relation to the content. So making those connections helps to enhance engagement for students, make them feel like they are wanting to move forward with that process. And additionally, according to Reaser and Dempsey 2017 on page 269, active learning requires students to engage meaningfully, cognitively, and emotionally with other students, the task assigned, and the materials or resources used to complete the task. So not only using materials and making connections with those materials, but also collaborating and working with students and the task specifically to make connections and deepen their understanding of concepts. We then move into constructivism. So for constructivism, there are three specific learning achievements or learning targets that are discussed in Reaser and Dempsey 2018. Learning is an active process of meaning making gained in and through our experience and interactions with the world. And that is where we see that connection between constructivism and active learning. The second thing, learning opportunities arise as people encounter cognitive conflict or challenge and through naturally occurring as well as planned problem-solving activities. So students have to think critically and go through an inquiry process. And then the third point, learning is a social activity involving collaboration, negotiation, and participation in authentic practices of communities. Again, this is very similar to active learning in that we are focusing on the collaboration piece to work towards achieving understanding and working very hands-on with the tasks at hand. We then have a table that is given to us from Reaser and Dempsey. It is Table 7.1, Constructivism expressed as a set of prescriptions for designing instruction. So if you look on the left-hand side, we have things like the problem, the environment, the learner's role, and then the instructor's role. And it kind of dives into what each of those things are in terms of constructivism. So for example, the problem, designing instruction around a problem or a small set of problems that is authentic, complex, and rich, or wicked. So with many possible framings, solution paths, and solutions. So students are presented with a problem and it is up to them to kind of come up with and work towards a solution. Then for our environment, as educators, we want to make sure that we're creating a conducive learning environment that is similar to real world situations so they can apply those concepts and things that they learned in the real world. Then we have the learner's role, which is encouraging learner ownership by highlighting the relevance of the problem and encouraging pursuit of interest. That is where we are working towards engaging students in the content. And we also want to grant learners the main responsibility for knowledge advancement. So we're placing that responsibility in the students' hands through problem-solving techniques, providing opportunities for social interaction, communication, and collaborative teams, and encouraging learner reflection. Because even if students fail, they can still grow and learn through that experience and ultimately become successful through those failures. Then on the flip side, we have the instructor's role. So instructors kind of take a step back a little bit more. We emphasize guidance and we facilitate. So we are on the side rather than being the ones who are going through the motions and telling the students what to do. We want to make sure that we are helping students focus on their engagement, and we want to make sure that we are helping students build on their prior knowledge. Then we have, why is active learning and constructivism necessary? The importance of active learning and constructivism in the classroom is that it allows students to build their own knowledge through questioning, exploration, and discovery. And through that engagement in hands-on activities, students gain knowledge and retain deeper understanding of processes. When they are asked to do things directly, then it helps them to understand and retain that information. And finally, the implementation in the classroom. What can I do as an educator? There are several different strategies that you can implement within your classroom. One of them being blended learning, so utilizing both in-class opportunities as well as integration of technology. We have a flipped classroom where lessons are presented in an online format, and then when students are in class, they're working on hands-on problem-solving solutions. We have peer instruction, so that is where peers are instructing and guiding their peers. We have case method, problem-based learning, project-based learning, and gamification in the classroom, and that is where we utilize different games, educational games in the classroom to assist with learning that aligns with your curriculum. And last but not least, the benefits of the constructivist approach. The integration of technology allows for a wider variety of methods to reach students' needs. So if you are doing things like blended learning, flipped classroom, gamification, project-based learning, all of those things incorporate technology, and it allows students to kind of gain a deeper understanding of things through their direct interactions with that technology. It allows for diversity and inclusiveness. If you are incorporating those kinds of things, you are able to cater to specific students' needs. It is engaging for learners. Students learn problem-solving techniques that can be used in both educational and outside contexts. The goal is that we are teaching students things that they can learn and apply in real-life experiences. And then students learn to take responsibility for their activities and decisions.